Good evening and welcome to the second round of the PSGL F3 campaign. We are at the Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir for the. It says that we're in Q1, but it should be one set of. It should be an 18-minute qualifying session as far as I know. But there'll be a 29-lap race coming up soon after, so we should be in for quite an interesting race tonight. We've got a few of the full-time drivers missing, but we've got the reserves coming in for them. I'm Tom Kent in the commentary position. Alongside me is good old Logan.
Oh gosh, that X looks hideous. Sorry. I'm just scrolling through Twitter. Hello everyone, it's glad to be here once again at the famous, or infamous, Sakhir International Circuit in the middle of a desert, Bahrain. It is the track that's been around nearly 20 years. Next season is hosted 20 Formula One, 19 British Grand Prix, I believe. Of course, it missed one in 2011 due to protest something. And we're here now for the second round. It was supposed to be Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it had to be called off due to issues with the course. It is a brand new course after all, but this one, Bahrain, has been in ever since the introduction of the F1 games by Codemasters, as we are getting qualifying underway with everyone doing their outlap around this 5.5 kilometer circuit with 15 turns, and it provides some excellent racing and an excellent spectacle, doesn't it, Tom?
It does, and it feels a lot different under the lights in comparison to when the races were set during daylight. But I do like this track. It's kind of like an old school circuit, if you like a modern day old school circuit for a lot of the drivers, especially for the younger generation now, who are very used to racing around this circuit. I mean, back in my day, the old school circuits would be Barcelona, it would be Silverstone, it would be Monza and Spa. Bahrain you could throw up there in the mix for the younger generation in comparison to us. So Ruti Hollett is on a lap now, so we'll have an opportunity to see how he gets on as he approaches turn one. So he's up through the gears in 8th gear, 325 kilometers an hour before he applies the brakes, nails the apex in 3rd gear, and then gets on the power with the car straight through turn 2, no problem. 3 is very much a kink. You don't want to go too far over the curbs, and then you position the car to the left, brake just before the 50 meter board. The meter boards do help you find your braking point at that particular section of the course. Through 5, 6 in 5th gear, and then 7 as you upshift. Thankfully the Red Bull stays out of the way. Into 7, or 8 I should say, in 3rd gear, nailing the apex, and then you're up through the gears once more, nice and gentle with the throttle. 2 through 9. Turn 10 is the trickiest corner of the course. You don't want to brake too late, but you don't want to be too cautious through there, as you need to get good acceleration on the exit onto the back straight coming towards turn 11, and you want to time the steering through 11 nice and sound. Through 12, which is a tricky right-hander, very easy to get it wrong there, but Hullet, absolute no problem through there. 13 nice and sound in 4th gear, and then use the ERS you've got left, you can use for the remainder of the lap, and then you've got the last braking point of the circuit. 14, don't forget the bend of 15 as well, or a kink I should say, and then you carry the car to the finish line with the DRS open. It's a 128.2, so Hullet gets his banker in, but I would expect the lap times to come down from there.
And come down they will. That's the first of what should be 20 laps tonight. I should mention who our reserves are tonight. As you may notice, Ren, last week's winner by the massive margin of 0.043 seconds. That's right, 43 thousandths of a second. He won by that as Devon goes to the top of the standings. But he's not here tonight, so it's almost guaranteed we'll have a new championship leader tonight. Riley Mackay is about to start a lap, or is he going to come out? I'm not sure. But as I was saying, yes, he was pipped to the post at the very end of the Brazilian Grand Prix and has had to settle for second best, but he's hoping to get onto the top step tonight, as Marios, by the way, has set a 128.000. Quite rare to see that, but here he is up there, Riley Mackay, starting a new lap. BB8 is in second, and he is in second, in fact, on the board, as well as in the championship, if we don't count Rennes. The drivers that are here tonight, Top G F1, in the Mercedes. Matteo 46 is in the Haas. Tedo, I'm not sure how you say that right there, is on the Ferrari, and Marios is back again as in the Ferrari. The absences tonight are Renz, who has a vacation, Twist, who is again on vacation, Tom is sick, and Marcus Coster has mid-year exams. Good luck to you, Marcus. Hopefully it goes plain sailing. He was the pole man last week. Unfortunately, he had a horrendous race and so much bad luck, he couldn't get on to the points. As we see Riley Mackay sitting the slowest time of the session, but I'm sure that will fall. He's on a hot lap right now. He's coming down the straight as I speak. British Grand Prix. Did I say British Grand Prix at the start, Tom?
Yes, you did. You said 19 British Grand Prix. I was meant to say Bahrain Grand Prix.
Oops.
I didn't want to jump in, but yeah,
No,
you did
don't
say
worry.
British Grand.
You could have. I didn't mind you correcting me. After all, I have to be kept right. But yes, I do apologise. I'm still trying to get over the British Grand Prix I was at a couple of weeks ago. I met Jess. I met Ace. Saw every race. It was just amazing. But hope to do it again next year. As I see LRB now, he got a time penalty for incidents in Brazil, so he went down to 10th, even though he did finish 5th. He has decided to abandon his... Oh, actually, no, this is just his in-lap, sorry. Mustache. He had a couple close shaves last week. Oh, no. And unfortunately, I don't believe he scored. No, he did not score. He finished in 11th place. The good thing with the new scoreboard is that you can now see what every driver finished in and not just the points they scored. So if the driver scored, say, 0 points, he would most likely, it would not tell you it would they've been finishing, but now you can see how they finished if you check the driver standings in the Discord.
It's great. It's good to see, and those who are familiar with the point system, they can work it out for themselves, like how many points they are for what position. But they seem to be more keen on which positions they actually finished in rather than how many points they scored, because it's the longer you know the PSGL in terms of the points format, the more obvious it becomes for them to understand. So I kind of like it. I think it's good, and you can also see on the PSGL website what the results actually were, both qualifying, the unofficial race result, and then the race result after stewards' investigations. So that's actually a cool thing to know.
Yes, it is indeed. Sorry, I had to mute my mic. There's a car alarm that's gone off, and it's... I hate having these things. It's still going off! Oh my gosh, it's not even mine. Anyway, I wish I had a soundproof booth. I'm seeing Toxic Tomato coming to the line to set a fast lap. It is a 128.211, good for 6th. Top G, I believe, is, if I can get it, Top G has abandoned his lap. He's invalidated anyways, so it would not matter. Msapala should be on, probably is a... Yeah, it's invalidated, so I don't think anyone is on a lap right now, Tom.
No, it doesn't seem to be. I mean, Tomato has just done his lap, and Sapala is heading for the pit lane. So the nearest driver who's about to start a lap, I'm just browsing through who's about to set one now. I believe it's Hullett, actually, which is no surprise because he was the first driver to set a flying lap. He's about to start his second now with 9 minutes to go.
Yes, we're halfway through the session here in Bahrain. Bahrain, Logan, not Britain. We're going to Britain, I believe, will be the... I think it's the... No, it's Qatar next, is it? No, it's Britain next.
So, looking through the calendar for this season... Bear with me one moment whilst I do find it in advance.
They've only announced 5 races, I know that.
So Silverstone is next, then the Qatar, and then Austria at the Red Bull Ring. In terms of the rest of where we're going to be going to for season 34, we don't know yet. So stay tuned and find out. Yep.
I love a good mystery. By the way, Ruti Hullett and Toxic Tomato have set the exact same times. I am not joking. But of course, since Ruti hit first, he gets the nod, just like in 1997, the European Grand Prix in Jerez. Villeneuve Frentzen and Schumacher set the fastest times at the same fastest time. But Villeneuve said it first, so he got pole position, Schumacher got second, and Frentzen got third. And then you all know what happened at the race, but that's for another day. Ruti Hullet coming to the line as we speak. He needs to beat a 1:28.211, which he stands equal with Toxic Tomato. But he's come in. He's come in, Tom. That's quite weird.
He lost time. He ran too far out wide at turn 14. That's why he lost a bundle of time, so it wasn't worth going round again. So may as well just come back in and get another set of tyres on. So who's actually going to be improving them? Because we're seeing some drivers heading over the line. We've got a McLaren going over the line. Is that Devin that's going over the line? Or is that... no, it's Riley that's going to 4th place. So Riley moving up the order there. Displacing his teammate. What about the Haas that's just coming through there? Is that Matteo who's coming through? No, it's not. It's the other one. It's Moustache who's just starting the lap. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on those coming through turn 14, Logan, because I'm just trying to work out whether they're actually on a flying lap or whether they're just finishing one.
Tado goes to 6th with a 1:28.171. He's our reserve, filling in for Costa, who could not be here tonight, as we say. And Marius sets the bar even higher with a 1:27.866. It's going to be a tough one to beat. The first driver to get into the 1:27s tonight.
Mohammed is coming through, one of the most experienced drivers in the field. So Mohammed, who's been involved in the PSGL every season but one since season 25. So he's actually come into the pits, hasn't he, Mohammed, who's in P12. But yes, like I say, he missed season 28 due to exams, I believe. But since then, he's been at it and making his way back up the ladder again.
Yeah, do your exams, kids. Danielle is gone into second with a 1:27.972, only the second driver to break the 1:28 barrier tonight. Looking around, I do believe is that top... No, it is Cherno coming round to finish his lap. I do believe he's slower than last time. Yes, he is, and he stays in 17th. That driver in the kit car is Pedro Vasquez. He's coming round to complete... I think he's actually backing out. Yeah, he is backing out. Christian Block hasn't set a lap time, neither has Top G. Block coming around to set his first lap time, if he does commit to it. Yes, he does. And it should be a 9th best time. Into the top 10 he goes. And a 1:28.198. Still only 2 drivers past 1:27.
Top G's the only man to yet to get a time on the bob. He's about to change that now as he goes over the line. And he goes to 2nd place. Just 100th in there, but it's a very good tidy lap there from Top G, just behind Marius there. Every driver's set a lap time now, but the track is definitely picking up by the second.
And the 2 super subs are in the top 2. What a day to be a reserve driver. Danielle, who, he also got a penalty for incidents last week. As we mentioned with LRB, he was finished 9th place, even though he was classified 4th after the race. So, quite unfortunate, but unfortunately we had to bring the book on them for their actions, of course. We don't take them lightly here at PSGL. We tend to take a hard stance, and we want fair racing. We want hard racing, we don't mind it, but we want it to be as fair as possible.
Hullet is on a lap in the Williams. This could well be his last one, because I'm not so sure if he's got enough time to get back round and head for the pits and get another set on. 4 minutes remaining, so yeah, I'd probably say this is going to be his last lap of the session, so he's got to make this count, as Hullet, as he goes to turn 11 and now 12. And how far is he off from his previous best? We'll find out. And he's a couple of tenths up, so he could possibly break into the 1:27s if he's lucky. He's just going past the Red Bull now, so he should be clear of any traffic between here and the end of the lap. So where does this put Hullet? He's in P12 at the moment. Don't go too far out wide. Thankfully he doesn't. He may have lost time there as he got the power down. 3rd fastest it is for Hullet. So that's a great effort.
Very good. The 4th driver to get into the 1:27s alongside Marius, Top G and Danielle. And there's still a few minutes to go for these drivers to set a lap. I do believe Toxic Tomato is Not Toxic Tomato, sorry, Imsapala is coming out. No, he's not coming out. He's coming back in. Still has 3 minutes. He will have enough time to get back and do one lap. Dadopad in the Alfa Romeo. We have to say kick. We can't say stake because of legal gamble. We can't have gambling advertisements, so it's kick in the game, not stake. Coming down the straight to start his final flying lap, perhaps. In the soft tyres, everyone using soft tyres, of course, it's a no-brainer at this rate. Even though they did have that unusual qualifying format where they had to do hards, mediums, and then softs for 1, 2, and 3 respectively in the real world.
That was not too bad, actually, was it? I thought it put on a treat for the fans, but and you have to say the times actually were very close between everyone, really, which made it just as interesting to watch. Even though Red Bull seems to have the fastest car over a single lap, even though they didn't at the weekend, but comprehensively they do. So that's got nothing to do with what's going on the screen here. It's just wonderful to see the field so compact in terms of lap time. But Deldelpad then, what is he going to come up with? He's going through a lot of traffic at the moment, and he's got a McLaren and a Red Bull in front of him before he's able to finish his lap. Now they cannot get in the way, so the McLaren gets out of the way. What about the Red Bull? Will it be just as kind to Deldelpad? We'll find out in a moment. He should get out of the way on the back straight. Yep. Yeah, he will do. Yeah, no problem there for Deldelpad. So it's a free run to the line then, as he looks to break into the top 10. He's in 14th position, so but if he finds a couple of 10s, he could all of a sudden find himself in the top 4 if he's lucky. Over the line he comes. He's in 5th position with a 1:28 dead. That's a good lap time.
Yes, it was in fact the first one set by Mario, so it is a fantastic time indeed from Dadopad, but still 19 other drivers to set a lap time. BB8 is one of them, and he has. Dadopad up ahead. He should back out. Yeah, he's backed out immediately. Good sportsmanship from the Alfa Romeo kick driver, who have a new livery for Belgium, I should mention, as they might put that in the game. I'm quite sad they didn't put the chrome livery that they had at the British Grand Prix, which I was at, and I preferred that. But hey, it's not on me, so I guess we'll have to make a live do with it. And BB8 making his way towards the turn number 10, the Fernando Alonso I'm going to overtake anyways corner, and into the back straight, as we call it. This is where they start the inside track races. They have an inner track, they have an outer track, they have a endurance track which they used once, it didn't go well, and of course the short track, which was featured briefly in the F1 games and used by PSGL, of course. So that's pretty fun. So BB8 coming to the line as the checkered flag falls, so looks like BB8 is going to be the first to set the final lap.
So Tyne is coming through, actually. He's going through the last turn now. Can he improve on 6th position? He goes to the top. 1:27.7 there for Tyne. So that's a brilliant effort from the Red Bull pilot. Can anyone beat that? What about the McLarens? Because they are 10th and 11th at the moment. Mackey's lap was invalidated, so he's not going to improve. The Haas is coming over the line now. That is Matteo goes 13th. Devon goes up to 7th place. We've got the AlphaTauri behind him that's coming through. That's LRB, 8th position. What about his teammate? He's next to go over the line. I'm not sure he actually improved, did Edric, so he stays where he is. We've got the Alfa Romeo of Vasquez, I believe, going over the line. 20th he was, 18th he goes up to. Yeah, so that's him up there. Cherno goes up to 18th place. We've got Toxic Tomato, who's only improving by a little bit.
And he's crashed into the wall.
Yeah, that's a stupid, really, that from Toxic Tomato, but he's gone over the line. Shouldn't be a problem to anyone else. Imsapala is some way back. We've got the Alpine going over the line. That is Daniela, who's going into the pits. Top G is actually improving by a little bit. Is he improving enough to displace time from pole? He improves his time, but not his position, so he stays where he is. Imsapala goes into the pit lane. He's crashed too.
Stop crashing your cars.
Yeah, I'm getting rather sick of seeing that, to be honest with you. I just don't think that's good driving standards at all. Block goes to the line. He doesn't improve, but thankfully he did not crash like Imsapala and Toxic Tomato. So at the end of all that, it is the Red Bull of Tyne who's on pole position for the Bahrain Grand Prix in Sakhir.
And you can see the stricken remains of that Toxic Tomato car on the track. Good thing this isn't the real world, because that would be a red flag and it would ruin the session for everyone. But there you go. That is your lineup. It is BB8 by 8 thousandths of a second. Yeah, not as close as Lewis Hamilton on the weekend, but yeah, 66 thousandths behind is Top G on reserve duty. 1.5 tenths behind and change is Ricky Hullett. 2 tenths and change, Danielle. Daddlepad, Devon, LRB, Moustache. Lickle Blocks rounds out the top 10. Riley Mackay, Tedo, Mateo, Christian Block, Imsapala, Toxic Tomato, Mohamed Cherno, and at the back row we have Pedro Vasquez and Edrex, who was the only driver that was not within 1 second of pole position. So here we go. It's time for 29 laps at the Sakir International Circuit for PSGL F3 on PlayStation.
So Time will be thinking about what to do up front, and how will he react to the lights. I don't think there'll be a formation up anyway, so it'll be going straight to lights out. The drivers know what they need to be doing. They're highly experienced and talented, it has to be said. They are very, very quick. Explains why the lap times are as close as they are across every circuit where we go to. But what do you feel Bahrain could produce in terms of strategy? Because you would think the one-stop strategy is what the drivers are normally going to go for, but could we possibly see a few drivers taking a little bit of a gamble?
We do indeed. Of course, the soft tires are known for not being the best around here, but if there's a safety car, you could put the soft tire, especially if it's near the end of the race. If you anticipate a safety car at the start, you could take a risk and maybe go soft and then go hard, or the other way around. You think it's coming near the end of the race, but I think most of these drivers will be thinking standard strategy, possibly go medium hard, hard medium, but soft may be a bit of a stretch. Of course, there might be a 2-stop if you're feeling lucky, but I think we might be going medium hard at this. Should mention, by the way, we don't do this on our own. I'm not sure, by the way, if we're going to get started, because they don't show the timer, but we are sponsored by GT Omega, the leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals, from gaming chairs to sim racing cockpits. Use PSGL at checkout for 5% off GT Omega products, our title sponsor for many years to come, GT Omega.
Indeed, and we are ready to go for the start of the race. The 5 red lights are on, and who will go into turn 1 first? Lights out, and away we go. Time gets away well, as does Marios, who looks to tuck in behind and make a move into turn 1. Who's going to break the later of the two? We've got the Mercedes of Top G alongside, and Top G goes in front of Marios into second place into turn 1. Brilliant move by the Merc. Then we've got Tyne in the lead there. Top G second, Marios third. And we've got the F1 winner of last season, Daniela, in 4th place. Nate's Hullett 5th, ahead of Devon, Daddlepad, Moustache, Tedo and Mackie as they all make their way through turn 4.
A brilliant start for Top G, but an even better start for BB8. He is now 8 tenths ahead of the 2 reserve drivers, the super subs, filling in for drivers who couldn't make it tonight, as Daddlepad and Rude Hullett fight for 6th place behind. Danielle just licking his lips, trying to get involved in the action. Moustache and Tedo having a close shave in turn 8 as they come through now turns 9 and 10. There's a bit of a squabble at the back between Cherno, Mohammed and Block. No major incidents to report so far, all in good working order as they come down the back stretch with 5 turns to go left in this lap. Through the corners come the leaders. BB8, Top G, Marios, Danielle, Devon, Daddlepad, Ricky Hullett, Moustache, Tedo and Riley Mackay coming through your top 10.
So 18 drivers starting on the hard compound. Tedo and Mackie are the only drivers not starting that compound. Both of them started on the mediums, which is kind of no surprise actually, because we saw it in Brazil last week where a couple of drivers started the race on the softs, the rest went onto the hards. And I think that paid off dividends quite brilliantly for the pair of them, because the timing of the safety car. So Tyne in the race lead at the end of lap 1 with Top G in second place. He was able to move in front of Marios at the start. Devon, we can see making a move on Daniela up the inside into turn 1. He's able to go through. There's a Ferrari running wide there. Looks like Tedo just carried a bit too much speed into the first turn, and that's allowed Hullett to go past.
And the battle continues for 4th place, but Danielle can't get past Devon. He holds on to 4th place. It's fantastic, this. It's no DRS for 2 laps, and they're blooming fighting for it. You love to see it. Tedo is down to 8th, as we've just seen. Moustache and Riley Mackay in a Moustache in a medium tire sandwich. Christian Block has pit already, and that sent him back to plumb at last. Must have had damage on that opening lap, and that will be a huge downer for him. But yet again, stranger things have happened. There's a quietly battle at the back between Toxic Tomato and Cherno. There was a bit of squabbling out of turn number 10. And it looks like Toxic Tomato down in 17th now, Cherno in 18th, and they're falling quite off the charts there, as you can see. But now the top three have broken away. No DRS for Devon, it looks like. The DRS train's going to start down in 4th place as Tyne, Tien, G and Marius make their way to start the first DRS-enabled lap.
We've got one Red Bull at the back, one Red Bull at the front, as we can see the McLaren of Mackie and the Haas of Moustache trying to go into battle as they head into turn 1. The DRS is enabled now, so they'll start using it on the exit of turn 3 because the detection point is on the entry to turn 1. And are we seeing any moves at the moment? It doesn't look like it, although we've got a spinner at the back, I think. Yeah, I think Toxic Tomato has had a moment somewhere, and that's seen him drop further back down the pack. And we are not seeing too much else going on. We've got the two Hasses dicing it out now. As Moustache and Mateo goes in.
We've just seen an incident between Toxic Tomato, Edrix and Cherno, and Toxic Tomato's retired in the session on track. That's surely going to be a penalty. Sorry about that, Tom. I was just on board with that battle, as you said earlier. And that's ended Toxic Tomato's race, and he's going to get penalised. Cherno's coming into pits for repairs, and I think Edrix went in, dived in the inside of Toxic Tomato, and Toxic Tomato spun around, and then Toxic Tomato, out of probably pure anger, went and retired the car, and he is out of this race, and Edrix may be going to see the stewards in the office in a couple of hours.
So I will take a look at what happened in that incident from my perspective on the stream, Logan, so I'll get back to you on that. But it's Tiny who's still in the race lead with Top G in second, Marius third. We've got Devon who's keeping hold of 4th place, but he's out of DRS range, so he's going to be under threat from the likes of Daniela Daddlepad and co. So he's going to have to do his best to fend off that and get back into play with the top 3.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, I had to walk away for a second. I got a phone call, and that's a bad move in all honesty when I'm commentating. But anyway, Edrix has come in and he's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Cherno has to get an entire new nose along with new tyres, and he's going to have to do another stop, I'm afraid. Those tyres are not going to go 27 laps.
Just look back on the incident, Logan, in relation to Toxic Tomato, Edrix and Cherno. It was a really clumsy manoeuvre from Edrix up the inside, and looking back on it again, to be fair, Toxic Tomato did push him out onto the curb and maybe didn't leave him enough space. So it's a bit of 6 in one and half dozen the other, and Cherno was just the innocent bystander in all of that, unfortunately. So I have to say, could well be a bit of 50-50, but Toxic Tomato, I would say, is going to be hit with a penalty for retiring on circuit via the pause menu, because that's not within the rules of the PSGL, unfortunately.
Definitely. So the top 3 come to the final corners. I should say corners, because 14 and 15 are 2 corners for some reason. I know not everyone will agree with that, but that's the way the circuit designers came up with it. So I do apologise for the bit of the haze you can see in the back there. It is quite annoying, but we can see that Marius is going to try and get ahead of his fellow reserve driver, Top G, coming into the first corner. They're still side by side, heading out. It is Marius on top and into second place now, and he's got DRS to chase down BB-8, and BB-8 can feel him under his skin, heading into turn 4, and it's a three-way battle here for 4th place, and it's involving Devon and Daddlepad in for 5th, and Daddlepad now in 5th, and Rudy Hullett's starting to get involved now.
So, brilliant battles going on at the moment as we see Daddlepad, Devon and Hulett come in, nearly making contact there. There's a bit of a battle going on between Little Blocks and Vasquez, who are fighting out, although Vasquez's car is controlled by the AI, it seems, so not exactly what's going on with his connection at the present moment. But Marios is right up behind Tyne's gearbox, and I think it's a matter of time before he decides to make his move.
Indeed, off camera, Lickleblock's lost position to Pedro Vasquez. So here we come once again. Mario's starting to close up on our race leader, Tyne Tijin, who is no stranger to leading the pack. He almost won, I believe it was the F7? Or was it the F5? I cannot remember. It was one of the seasons I did, and he nearly won the title. The problem was he did a mass, I think it was F8 actually. He had a massive crash in Imola and it cost him, but here he comes, Marios going for the lead into the first corner, before the first corner, and he is a car length ahead of Tijin and takes the lead, and now Top G is in Tijin's mirrors, and it should be can BB8 come back for the lead? No, he cannot, and we have a new race leader.
What a lunge up the inside from Hullet.
Whoa.
He took 2 cars in one go, and the McLaren followed by Mackie nearly dropping it whilst dicing it out with the Alfa Romeo. But what a sensational double overtake there from Rudy Hullet to get past the Alpine of Daniela and the McLaren of Devin at the same time. Excellent stuff. Now, can he break away from those? Because the next driver ahead of him is 3.5 seconds up the road.
And he needs to advance fast, and there's a crash! There's a massive crash! Well, it was nearly a massive crash, but Danielle, once again, like last week, falls down, and this makes it wide open. Look at the battle here happening between, I don't know what place this is. It must be 5th, it surely is, 5th. And Riley Mackay is in 5th, and it looks like Danopad's pushed off the road, he's spun off! He is spun off. Hopefully he's not collided with any cars. He's hit the wall, but he's not out of the race yet. It is all chaos and catastrophe here as the mid-pack, and Danopad is sent to the back. Now, what's Matteo going to do? He's going to try and make a move on the reserve Ferrari of Tito. No, he is not. I think both Ferraris are reserves tonight. And it looks like Riley Mackay is coming. No, he's going to the right. I was wondering why he was turning left. And there's a battle for 6th position between Matteo and Tito, 2 Ferrari engine drivers. And I think they're going to go side by side of Riley Mackay, but they can't get there in time. Riley holds on to the position for now. Look at all these cars hounding them down. It's like that F2 race at Paul Ricard. Matteo goes onto the side. Moustache and Tito watching eminently. And into 5th place goes Matteo. But it looks like, no, Riley was not going to snap back. I thought he was going to snap back there, but no. It is Matteo now into 5th. I'm sure Riley Mackay is going to rally a revenge challenge here at the Sakir circuit. By the way, that the haze here is horrendous. I can barely see a thing coming down the pit straight.
It's awful, isn't it? I was just going to say, I think what the drivers have realised is because they started to battle a lot now, they're losing ground to those up ahead. So they're playing it more sensible now and thinking more about lap 29 rather than thinking about lap 7. So I think Matteo has sort of kind of helped calm that down for now, as Hullet is more than 3 seconds up the road from those lots, so he can just breathe easy and focus on what's ahead of him, as Mr. Pala gets ahead of Tedo and moving up to 8th.
And this is not getting any better for Tedo and these medium tyres. Remember, they're going to wear more than these hard tyres, so he's got to be careful as we see the cars coming through that horrendous haze that I'm probably going to complain about for the rest of my life at this rate. But now it's Riley Mackay who's starting to close up on Matteo once again, but it's starting to break away. Moustache has Sim Sapala coming behind him. Here we go once again then. It's going to be one heck of a battle for any position, really. Heading down to the position, is there going to be any big moves? I don't think so. Oh no, there is. I think that's Lickleblock's. Lickleblock's and LRB. LRB has warnings and previous for last week, and now they're heading side by side into the corner. And it Lickleblock trying to edge out, but no, it's LRB who edges out, and Dadopad, I think, he's thrown in the towel. Oh, look at this! Lickleblock's somehow stays ahead of LRB, but LRB swerving, trying to instigate a move. It looked like a pub fake there, but he wasn't going to get it. And Edrix has also went to the showers. He has retired in the pit lane.
Well, he felt that he wasn't going to achieve anything from where he was, and it's unlikely we're going to get a safety car, though we had safety car last week in Brazil. But I think given how this race has gone out so far, we could have had a safety car actually, had Daddlepad had binned it in the wall earlier, but thankfully kept going until he pulled into the pits to retire. Marios in the lead then, with Tyne half a second back. Top G is in third, and none of them thinking about just trying to make a move on each other just yet. Probably no point at thinking of it with the pit stop still to come. Vasquez the next to get a time penalty for track limits, so that'll be added to his time at the end of the race. You have to say that Cherno and Block are out of position compared to the rest of the field, so it's unlikely that they're going to be picking up any points. They're going to have to hope for a safety car later on.
And looks like Top G starting to close up to Tijin, who had the pole time. And Mario's now in the lead, and there's some battling. What's going on here? A battle between LRB, Danielle, and Pedro Vasquez. Is Danielle even driving the car?
Wing. Yeah, he's got a broken
front wing.
Yeah, he just carried too much speed and just almost used the Alfa Romeo as a brake to get the car slowed down, but has paid the price by losing the left side of his front wing. So Daniela's race has gone from bad to worse, unfortunately. What a shame for the F4 race winner of last season.
Yes, and look at this. LRB trying to get back at Pedro Vasquez, who is now in 12th place, and trying to chase Lickleblocks, who's over a second ahead, so he needs to do a lot of catch-up here. LRB has the DRS. He's surely going to get the run on Pedro Vasquez, and he does. Into 12th place he goes. Meanwhile, further up, we've got a battle developing between Imzapala and the Moustache for 7th place. But can the Stash fend off the Williams? We'll have to see, because we're just about to come to the next DRS zone. Meanwhile, the stupid Hayes. The leaders are coming through. Hayes through to the first turn once again. This is lap number 10 here at the Secure International Circuit. And it doesn't look like these drivers want to fight just yet. They're just warming up, probably forming a temporary truce to try and get away from the rest of the pack. Then it will be all-out attack. And of course, this is just the first third of the race. It's probably best you just hang back for now, but if you want to get up the order, you probably have to do some fighting, as Riley Mackay is trying to instigate right now with those medium tyres, but they're going to wear out a bit, Tom.
They are, and the drivers on the hard compound tyres won't want to pit too early for the mediums, but they want to make sure they get all the benefit from the medium compound. That's the emphasis of having a good race at this particular level of league racing in the PSGL. It is F3 after all. These drivers know how to position the car on the straights, when to brake, when to turn in, and when to head for the pits and try and perform an undercut on the drivers in front. And one small mistake can cost you dear. One small mistake can cost you dear,
indeed. And these drivers don't want to be doing that. We did see Dadopad make a mistake. Well, they did kind of collide with, I believe it was was it Tedo or Moustache? But whoever it was, it ended Dadopad's chances of winning anything from this race, taking anything. So we are down to 17 here, and we've got the mid-pack absolutely giving it everything. You'd love to see this from a commentator's standing point. And speaking of it, here goes Imzapala. He's going to have a shave with Moustache coming down the straight. What will it be, sir? Into the first corner he goes. Oh, and look at this. They've got wheels banging together. Moustache having none of it. He's getting the shaver out immediately. And Devon is going to try and pull off a move here. Could be a double overtake from Dev. Tell you what, the McLaren drivers in this, just like real life, are giving it everything. Devon up to 8th place, and he could have got 7th there.
I was going to say, Mr. Parler just about gave Devon enough space. I thought they might have just come together through turn 4, but they got through there safe and sound. And we are watching Riley closing on Matteo for 5th place. Matteo coming in as a reserve for tonight, I believe, as far as I can remember. And Cherno in the pits and out. So he just picked up a penalty and he thought, do you know what, it's not worth carrying on, I'm just going to go.
All right, bye then. So, the midfield keep on fighting. Some of them just hanging back, waiting for the optimum time to strike. But it is the top three that, by the way, they've got a 5-second lead. It's only lap 11. It's just about to be lap 12. But this is ridiculous pace in the top three. It's like we're watching a whole different tier here.
It's almost like the Grand National at the moment, isn't it? With 3 different cars coming through towards turn 1. I don't know if they've got horses over in Bahrain. They probably will do, but probably more like camels. Maybe they've like their own sort of version of the Grand National with camels racing each other. That'd be something, wouldn't it? But we're just seeing a driver go into the pit, and Vasquez in the pits and out. So he was another with a time penalty. So a lot of drivers with somewhat low self-esteem this evening, haven't they?
I mean, come on, guys. Yeah, Max Verstappen's winning the World Championship. Oh, no, wait. This is the wrong version. Look, the safety car could help you. I mean, it's not the best way to get back in the race, but it's still something. Something is better than nothing. So, I don't know what's going on. We're down to 15 drivers already, and we're not even halfway through. At this rate, we'll only be left with 9 or 8. Devon trying to close up on what could have been 7th place earlier. It could be 5th if he's... But he doesn't want to get too greedy, of course. There's a lot of fighting going ahead, and he could take advantage of it. I mean, look here, Matteo is just hounding Riley. He's just bullying him. He says, I want this 5th place! Your tyres are so worn! Pretty much that's what he's saying in whatever language we're speaking here. I know I'm just speaking gibberish, but that's my job, after all, to speak gibberish down the mic. Mamsapala is trying to close up, but Matteo's trying to close up even more. But if Matteo gets too involved in Mackay, this could fall right into Devon's hands.
Really could. As you watch Mackay go into the pits, it's no surprise he's going in because he's started the race on the mediums. And who's that also making his way into the pits? That would be Teddo in the Ferrari. So they are thinking about an undercut at this point.
And they have to, because they were on the medium tyres, so they will be finishing the race on the hard. Everybody's now on the hards, but in sooner or later, everyone will be on the mediums. So Riley and Teddo are all to do here. They're on the different strategy, but will the gamble pay off? They will be on the slower tyre, but they will jump positions once everyone else pits. Quite interesting to see what happens when we get to that point, as we try to look for some battles here. The midfield still giving it everything, but I do see the top 3 are closing up, especially BB8, who got very close to Marios in turn 10.
Well, I can tell you, Tyne has got a lot more ERS in storage than the Ferrari. The Ferrari's got around about 20%, the Red Bull's got around about 90%, would you believe? So Tyne's been very, very frugal with his ERS, and he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity to use it.
Yes, best to be frugal with the ERS, and it might fall into BB8's hands, because now he's right on him. He's right on him, but remember, Top G's there as well. He's got some energy, not as much as Tjin, but now they both have the advantage here. Looks like Marius is going to have to do some mega defending here if he wants to hold on to this first place. I don't think he'd be worried about this at this point. Into the inside he goes, and BB8 takes the lead back. But here comes Top G! The G-Man had a look up the inside, but no, Marios holds on to position. And it could be a freeway battle for the lead. Here they come, down the straight, but no, it's just second and third battling. Here it is, Top G into second place. Now it's really opened up.
It really has, and the Red Bull's gone in front then. The Mert taking advantage of the DRS because Marios didn't get the luxury of it on the backstraight between turns 3 and 4, and that has cost him second place as well. So he just needs to stay in touch with the top 2, and he might be able to get his own back on them, but he needs to start saving ERS now because he's not got a lot left in there in comparison to the Mercedes and the Red Bull.
Indeed, that is right. So yeah, double whammy for Marios. Not much energy and no DRS meant it was a double whammy for himself, and now G and Tijin have relegated Marios down to third place in a matter of corners. So a lot of work for Marios to do. Come back. He will get the luxury of DRS now, as BB8 will not. I wonder what will unfold once we reach the halfway point of this race.
Going on to the pit straight then, what is Top G thinking of doing? Is he going to go for it, or is he going to sit back and wait? We won't want to sit back too much because he's got Marios right behind with the DRS open as well. And he's thinking about going for a move. Top G reads it, and he goes up the inside of Tyne, and he's going to go into the race lead. Can Marios take advantage of the open door? He can't quite do it. But who's going to have the DRS on the back straight then? It's the Ferrari and the Red Bull. So Top G is probably going to need to defend this one going into turn 4, and he was able to pull out enough of a gap to fend off without making any defensive manoeuvres.
And we've got some drivers taking to the pits. It is Devon, LRB, and Danielle. They're all coming in for medium tyres. Coming out they go. Where is Teddo going to get this? Where's Riley going to come out of this? They are both going to come out ahead of Devon and LRB. But remember, those three drivers will have the luxury of the faster, much stronger tyres. With the hard tyres going to be the slower option, but the more durable.
So Top G in the race lead then, so the lead changing twice in the space of a lap or so. Tyne happy to sit in behind. He's not thinking about the race lead just yet. When they do come into the pits, a lot of their ERS gets sort of replenished, if that makes sense. So Tyne won't need to worry about his ERS at the moment. Marios needs every bit of ERS he can save before he can start pushing. He needs to be on the same wavelength really as Tyne and Top G on the ERS storage as the Merc goes in, as does the Ferrari.
Very interesting. They're going to undercut on BB8. So, I wonder what's going to happen. BB8's got to put in a banger of an in-lap. I can tell you that right now. If he wants to win this race, and we've got some shuffling for positions as we see. I think that's Imsapala and Matteo now into the top 2 now because, of course, they have not pit yet, along with BB8. They're going to try and do the overcut, or they might be victims of an undercut. So Matteo looking to try and get a move, but can't get there. And Imsapala now in second. Lickle Blocks behind in 4th. Mohammed 7 seconds behind Lickle Blocks in 5th. And I do believe Moustache and Ruthulit also came in. So lots of drivers now pitting to him, just to see that Christian Block is the other driver who hasn't pit, of course, because he already pit on the first lap due to damage on lap 1. So I do believe he is going to try and get to the end on these hard tyres. It probably is durable. If not, then just do the softs. So, yeah, what is BB8 going to do? Is he going to stick a little longer, or is he going to come in right now? Let's find out as he comes around the final corner.
He's got a lot of ERS still in store, so he'll probably want to use that before he comes in. And I'm not at all surprised to see him stay out, because I think what he wants to do is use up some of the ERS he's got in hand before he comes into the pits.
Well, he's only got 81%, so I'm surprised he's not using more of it, because you tend to gain a lot as Imsapala has come into the pits. We're promoting Armateo to 2nd place. The lead between BB8 and Matteo is 11.5 seconds. And Tom G is trying to close down on Lickle Blocks, who's yet to pit. That's a 7.5 second gap. Shouldn't be too much meddling. I don't see many moves happening on track. I do see, I believe that is LRB and Moustache having a battle for what will be now 10th place. And LRB gets ahead. And he's got Imsapala for company again, who's just pit.
So Imsapala coming out in 12th position, but at least he'll be on fresher tyres than those ahead of him. So he'll need to start using that in due course as Moustache dives to the inside of LRB and move up into the point scoring positions. Everyone has stopped in this race now, except the current top 3, which are Tyne, Matteo, and Little Blocks. As Little Blocks makes a move round the outside, actually, of Matteo, going into it.
No.
Oh, it goes in too deep. I don't know whether he just lost momentum there and Matteo got back through, or whether he had some kind of an issue. But either way, the Haas is back through. What is Tyne going to do this up? Is he going to pit in? He is, and using every bit of VRS he's got left to gain some more time as he approaches the pit lane. And it will be the medium compound to go on the Red Bull to do the last 12 laps of the race. No problem there in terms of the time of the pit stop. He won't get out in front of Top G. Marios has dropped back, actually. He's had a really poor start to his second stint, so if that's going to give the Red Bull driver a little bit more encouragement, but Marius is still going to get in front, I think. So it's left time with a lot of work to do between now and the end of the race. How far is he off the lead now? Let's have a look. He's 6 seconds off the race lead is time. That's the difference of staying out there for a couple more laps to your rivals.
Yes, but remember, he has a lot of VRS and he has a lot of tyre use, because remember, he's just pit and the other drivers in front of him have been 2 laps on these medium tyres, so he'll have the fresher, more durable tyres come the end of the race. By the way, Ruti Hullet up in the 4th, Riley Mackay still in the 5th, taking advantage of the better compound, as I am on board with Msapala and LRB, who are fighting for 8th place. Now, every driver except Christian Block, well, he has pit, but he hasn't pit a second time, it looks like, because he had to pit on the first lap. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Marius there, and BB8 just, I think, left it a little too late for the pit stops, so it's really cost him now, and it's really shook up the order of this race. We did say at the start of the race that tyre strategies were going to be crucial here on this track, and we've just seen it unfold right in front of our eyes. But now we have a battle for 8th place, Msapala and LRB, along with Moustache. This could be 3 wide if we're feeling lucky. As the drivers make their way down, it's going to be a battle between the AlphaTauri and the Haas, LRB and Moustache heading into the first corner. And it will be Moustache that gets ahead, but it will be both drivers getting DRS on Msapala, who's probably benefited from that battle behind. Now he has a half-second lead. It may close down or it may extend even more depending on what unfolds in the next few seconds, as Teddo is punished for getting a time penalty, multiple warnings. He has been under the watchful eye of the stewards for quite a while, and they have seen enough, and now he gets a penalty, and he has a horrendous exit out of turn 10. What is going on? He is losing control of the car, it seems.
Teddo just to drop back a little bit. I'm watching time at the moment because he's starting to use more of his ERS now. He's down to around about 55%. Yeah, well, he's got to anyway, because there's not too long left to go in the race. But he has to be frugal with it before he catches up to Marios and Top G. The gap is now down to 5 seconds at the end of lap 19.
So 10 laps to go here at the Secure International Circuit. We've got fans of Moustache here. Yeah, I shaved my moustache off him, unfortunately, but this Moustache is still fighting for some decent points here, looking to close up to Msapala, and he should get a good run out of that corner, and so should LRB, because here we come once again for the next DRS zone, and Moustache doesn't look like he's going to be closing up any soon. So they do stay where they are, but time BB8 now just under 2 seconds behind Marios. Gap now under 5 seconds, as we said. As it looks like everyone is migrating to watching F1's finish, because of course we've got F1, F3, F5, F7 and F9 on at 8 o'clock, and 2, 4, 6, 8 motorway at 7 o'clock. So 10 laps to go, as we said. It will be 9 soon, because Top G, showing why he is the super sub. He has just been fantastic tonight, making his first, I believe it is his first appearance, and he has just shown the boys how it is done, and if he can hold on to this, then he will get that thoroughly deserved victory and celebration in victory lane. But BB8 starting to gain ground on Marios. This is increasingly more worrying for the other super sub tonight. It is quite crazy to see 2 reserves at the top in just the second race of the season.
Extraordinary. They've done a terrific job, and Top G was just hoping they'd be good enough for the PSGL. Well, he's more than good enough by what we've seen from him this evening. So I'm like to think he'll be an absolutely brilliant driver for the foreseeable future if he decides to carry on and maybe race full time. I don't know what his plans are exactly, but this is an encouraging performance from Top G, and he should be very, very happy with what he's doing.
Indeed he should, but of course, to finish first, you first must finish, as the famous Murray Walker said. And that is pretty much the name of the game. And he's trying to do that
Dennis
right
that
now.
says it.
Oh, is it? Well,
yeah, it's Ron Dennis that would usually say that.
Well, I've been corrected. Every day is a school day. I'm just trying to skip. Oh, here we go. A battle between Tero and Msapala, rudely cut off by the scoreboard. Do apologise about that, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Msapala now into 7th again. I think it was it Tero trying to challenge for 7th there? Because it looked like it was.
Well, Msapala's in front of Tero now. So Tero's beginning to struggle on his hard set of tyres, and I think he's about to be overtaken by Moustache in a minute.
Here we go then. Moustache versus Tero. Down the straight we come. Should be, looks like an easy move. He's got no energy left though. Neither driver has any energy left. They're going to be pretty much naked coming to the corner when it comes to speed. And they're still side by side, but Tero just edging out. But he runs Moustache wide. A close shave there. He nearly got thrown off the track, but now it's made the race wide open. 3 wide into the corner. Mark Mateo to the try advantage. Oh, 3 doesn't go into 1. 4 wide now, as looks like LRB's joining the battle. What is this? The 2 Hasses come out in front, and it's Moustache. It's Mateo, it looks like. Mateo going on the inside of Moustache. My word, what happened there?
I'm amazed not one driver was spun around in all of that. That was brilliant racing, hard racing. You have to appreciate that because, yes, it was very, very tough and very, very brutal racing, but it was all fair throughout that. That was brilliant to watch.
It was fantastic. It's still going on. Lickle Blocks and LRB still fighting over the last points paying position. And it doesn't look like... Oh, by the way, look how close BB-8's got!
He's got the DRS now, look. He's about to pull alongside Marios and go into second place here. So Tyne on a charge with 7 laps to go, up into second position. Has he got enough time and ERS in store to catch Top G?
Well, if he caught Barrios in 7 laps, surely he'll catch Top G in 7 laps, if the stats are correct. By the way, the 2 McLarens are getting involved now. I think Riley Mackay has been passed by Devon. And the 2 Hasses are still battling as well. Gosh, we've got inter-team battles everywhere. We've got, well, I wouldn't say the Alpines, but they are 13th and 14th. They're too far behind, 11.9 seconds. We still have a 5-way battle for 8th place. And this is only helping Msapala just break away. Break away.
So Tedo's really struggling at the moment, struggling to even keep up with it. Has he picked up damage in all the shenanigans that he's been involved in the last lap or so? Or is he just simply struggling on his hard compound tyres? I'm not 100% sure. He's carrying a time penalty anyway, so he'll be out of the points anyhow, Tedo, unfortunately. It's been a bad day for the Alpine boys, hasn't it? Mohammed 13th, Daniel 14th after his troubles earlier on. So it looks like the Alpine squad will be coming away with no points, unfortunately. And Christian Blockwell, he's just been at the back all by himself, hasn't he, for pretty much the whole night.
Casual drive, that's all it's been from. By the way, when does Alpine ever have a good day? Let's be honest. Just had rotten luck.
Well, back at the front, Top G and Tyne, the gap is 1.8 seconds ERS use. Top G's got around about 5%, Tyne's got around about 10%. So at least Tyne has been, well, he's using up the ERS as when he can, but he cannot afford to use up too much. You want to have at least 10% in there to make sure you've got the right amount of speed as you go along the pit straight.
I don't know what happened. He had all that ERS, and he's just wasted it. I think that I noticed he was gaining over a second on that lap. I think he must have dumped all the battery on that lap, and now he's got a hope that that battery recharges to a certain point where he can sustain that energy and use it all on Top G and hopefully win the race. Top G is got this pretty much the same amount of energy as BB. I can't really see because the helmet's in the way of the steering wheel on my view, but there's not much else I could do about that. So as we see, Barre's starting to lose a lot of ground. Looks like the battle for 8th has calmed down. And Moustache has actually lost position to Lickle Blocks, who's now in 9th. So Moustache now exposed to LRB, who could nick the final points position off of him. So 5 laps to go, and the gap is 1.75 seconds, and it has probably remained stagnant for a couple of laps now. So this may be good news for Top G. He could be going on to win this race, but remember, it ain't over till the checker flag falls.
Definitely not, and the McLaren's not quite dicing out as much. Now, is Riley thinking, can you just let me go by? Well, they're on different strategies, remember, because Devon started the race on the hards, Riley started the race on the mediums, and it seems that Riley may be on the better tyres at this stage now. .8 seconds is the gap then between Top G and Tyne as they come through turn 10. My argument with Tyne at the moment, when he got by Marios, I think he was using a lot of his ERS to break away from Marios so that Marios didn't have the benefit of the DRS next time round they go onto the pit straight. Because had Tyne been under threat from him again, he would have lost further ground to Top G up front. Whilst we're waiting for Logan to sort his mic out, I think he might have had it. He might have had himself on mute there. That's scolded by error by the sounds of it.
Yeah, don't worry, it's been a whole week. But Matteo has got so close to Msapala, I've just realised. He's got so close, he was nowhere near last time.
Well, Matteo is up behind Msapala as Msapala is closing in on the McLarens. So this could get rather tasty in the closing stages.
It could. So, is there going to be from Matteo? I suspect so, yes sir. Into 7th place goes Matteo, and now he's going to be chasing down those McLarens.
What about Msapala then? Because he's just been overtaken by Matteo now. So Matteo up into 7th position. Doing a super job this evening so far. Little Blocks looking good for a good couple of points at the moment in 9th.
Yes, sir, and LRB starting to close up for Moustache. This is for the last points position, 1 point if you finish in top 10. By the way, the fastest lap goes to Top G, set a 1:30.339, quite impressive for race pace.
Surprise me if we see someone from the back decide to come into the pits and get the soft tyres on and go for the fastest lap. It really wouldn't surprise me at all. Just gives them a little bit more of a challenge as opposed to just sitting at the back all the time. Top G continuing to pull clear, 1.6 seconds in front. It's not a lot, but it's a commanding gap. It's all he needs to win this race now.
3 laps to go. The gap is still 1.7 seconds, despite BB8's mediums being faster and younger. It doesn't look like it's going to put off Top G, who's going to be top man on the night. It is a fantastic debut performance from Top G here on PSGL F3, but they've still got to finish the race. Marios also back in 3rd. There's not been much battling up the front, as the 2 McLarens are about to get battling as well. If they do get close enough, I don't think so. Nope, doesn't look like it. And the battles have been fantastic in midfield today, full of chaos and controversy, but we've enjoyed every second of it. But the top 3 since the start have pretty much broken away. It's been fantastic to see these drivers give it their all here for the viewing public, and that is why you should subscribe to PSGL. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is your one-stop shop for all esports racing action on F1 Esports.
But 2 laps to go once the leaders come round. Top G has bridged the gap further. 1.9 seconds it is. So the top three look pretty much sewn up now in the positions they are in. Hullet looks good for fourth, but the battle for fifth is not over yet between Devon and Mackie. But Matteo and Msapala and Littlebox could have something to say on that.
They could indeed. So we are about to begin the second to last lap, and it is the second to last lap for Top G, who's now broke away to 2 seconds. It looks like the game may be up for BB8, bar a disastrous ending for Top G, who has just put in the performance of his life. And I'm trying to see the chat here. It's just full of French-speaking messages. I do believe the rule is English-speaking only in chat. I'm not sure, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I probably need Google Translate for that. But yes, now the lead is actually come down to 1.8, but I don't think it will be enough. BB8 using his energy may have been costly for him because he is not getting anywhere. Top G has been fantastic tonight and might not be deterred at all. The battles in 7th and 9th happening right now.
I can tell you that Christian Block came into the pits to put on the soft tyres, so he's got the chance to go for the fastest lap. So 1 lap to go, and Top G is on course for victory. And looking at his previous performances, well, as I've already mentioned, it's his first season in the PSGL, and therefore it's going to be his first win in the PSGL and on debut.
Whoa, look at this. Matteo trying to block a challenge from Msapala. What's going on here? What is this from Lickleblocks? He's went all over the place. I don't know what he was doing there. I don't think he was trying to defend too strong, but he was going on the inside now, and this is the final lap, and now Lickleblocks is behind Msapala, who's trying to get ahead of Armateo. Armateo trying to pull a defensive move into the first corner. Matteo holds him off. Lickleblocks trying to attack from behind as well. Look like he's going to try and get a move, it is Lickleblocks. This is for 8th place, and Mateo has somehow tried to hold off, but they're going to the outside. Msapala, what a move on the outside. He's still ahead, and Mateo trying to fight back, and that is a fantastic move from Msapala. Struck while the iron was hot the last lap, and it's paid off, but Mateo is trying to get the inside, and he didn't get it, and it's actually held him up, and Msapala now has the opportunity to break away, and Mateo now is stuck in a battle between Lickleblocks, RLRB and Moustache. If he's not careful, he might not score. They're coming around fighting, but we should go to the leader who's about to cross the finish line to claim his victory.
Top G coming round the last couple of corners then. What a sensational performance it's been by him. He was hoping for a good season in the PSGL on his debut. Well, tonight you've just done it. Top G wins the Bahrain Grand Prix in F3 in the PSGL season 34. Tyne comes home in 2nd position. A brilliant performance by him, and that moves into the top of the championship. Marios comes home in 3rd, ahead of Hullet and Mackie and Devon, so 2 McLarens in the top 6. And Sapala looking to hold off Matteo to the line, he just does it! Does it by less than 800ths of a second. Matteo 8th, Lickleblocks picking up a couple of points in 9th, and LRB in 10th place. Moustache, Tedo, Mohammed, Daniela, and Christian Block, who set the fast lap on his final lap. 129.9, but no points for him, unfortunately. But there's your race winner by 1.4 seconds. It's Top G in the Merc.
A Merc wins again, and it's a reserve. When Ren's away, the Top G will play. He is your winner tonight on the Bahrain International Circuit. What a fantastic performance from the Mercedes driver, and what fantastic battling in the midfield as well.
It was fantastic. Brilliant action all the way through. It was quite chaotic at the beginning, and then it all calmed down as the race thickened. But what a sensational drive from Top G. It was superb all the way through. Very nice dicing between the Ferrari, the Merc, and the Red Bull. Quite typical, actually. But they kept it clean throughout, and they are going to be celebrating very much. Good points for two of which we were reserving for this evening. For Tyne, well, that points finish has moved into the top of the championship, as I've already mentioned. What a brilliant result it is for him. So, rundown on the final result here in Bahrain. Top G wins. Tyne in second, then it's Marios in third place. Lit in fourth, Hadamaki, Devon, Insapala, Matteo, Little Blocks, and LRB rounding out the point scorers. Moustache was 11th, followed by Tedo, Mohammed, Daniela, and Block the rest of the finishers. Vasquez retired, as did Jono. Dadopad, Edrix, and Toxic Tomato did not finish. Well, after that race, I think it's been some action there, Logan. What do you think?
Yeah, it was. Christian Block, by the way, setting the fastest lap, 1 lap down. The only driver to get into the 129s, but it won't count. You do not get any points for setting the fastest lap if you are outside the top 10. It is only for the top 10, which is kind of unfair, but there you go. That is the rules we have set out. It would be, in this case, it would probably be top G, but you did not get it, so you're getting 16 points. But I do believe, if I am doing my maths correctly, I believe BB8 is your new championship leader with 22 points.
I mean, last week he finished third, tonight he finished second, so yes, he does go to the top. But of course, there's a long way to go yet in this championship. The next race is at Silverstone, followed by Qatar, and then Austria. And in terms of the rest of the other rounds for this season, we don't know yet, so do make sure you stay tuned in for them. I don't suppose we are doing any interviews, or are we going to leave it for tonight, Logan? What do you think?
I will ask Top G if he is up for a top interview. Top interview, oh jeez. I'm just getting some comments in. Just reading the comments right now. Some very outraged game players. Tox Tomato, not happy with Edrex. Expletive, left no room, just took me out. Daddlepad says, good job guys, very well done again. I assume that is sarcasm considering he was extremely unhappy with driving standards. Idrex has posted his video. I've got messages in French. Moustache not happy with dirty driving. Little Block's not happy either. Save your POVs of final corner of lap 28. Twist not happy. Mario's praising Top G's fantastic running on mediums. I think that's what it is. Top G is no microphone, so we can't do an interview, I'm afraid. So I guess we'll just have to leave it for the night because I know Tyne and Marios can't do one either. So thank you all for watching tonight. That's all I'm going to say. And remember to get that GT Omega merch with 5% off if you use the code PSGL.
Indeed, it's very much worth it if you can get yourself a gaming chair like I've got. I've had it for the last 2 years. It was very much worth the money that I paid for. So do make the most of the promotion as of when you can use it. So we'll leave it there, Logan. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you to everyone that's tuned in for tonight's race as well. Next week is Silverstone, same time next week, so you know where to tune in. It's the PSGL. If you haven't subscribed, do make sure you press that subscribe button, and you can keep yourself right up to date with all the races that are happening during the course of the week, both in the PC ladder and in the PlayStation ladder. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Tom Cairns, and he's Logan, and we'll speak to you again soon when the PSGL returns.
Good. Oh wait, I've got the broadcast on. Live broadcasts. All right. Good night, everyone. See you at